Hello, hello. Let me get another light here. There you go. That's better. How are you all? Welcome to another IELTS journey with Fabi. And again, this one is special because we are warming up for the IELTS Booster Workshop. Okay, so in this workshop, I'll tell you the first steps and everything you need to know about the IELTS test and how you can prove your English so you can achieve your goals abroad. Okay, guys, so you can achieve your goals abroad. Cool. All right. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Fabi. I'm an English teacher and I help people prove their English level so they can achieve their goals abroad. You can study abroad, work abroad, do whatever you want. Okay. But first, you need to prove your English. Okay. And the best way to prove your English is with the IELTS test. Okay. So today we will be talking about, is it possible to get a band 7.5 by yourself? What do you think? Is it possible? We're going to talk about that today. All right. Okay, cool. So let me have a look at my notes. Where do we start? Okay, so first of all, let's talk about what is a 7.5. Okay. If you have talked to someone about the IELTS test, if you know anything about, oh, by the way, I'm going to put the link here because I might share my screen. Is it here? Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think it's better if you go to YouTube, pin comment. Perfect. Cool. Got it. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen sometimes. So if you're watching me on Instagram, okay, you can, sorry, you can head to YouTube because on YouTube I can share my screen. So maybe I will share something with you. Okay, so you can see properly. Goody, goody. All right. Okay, so first of all, what is a 7.5, right? On the IELTS test. The thing is, if you have started your IELTS journey, you know that a 7 is a difficult score. Okay, so why is the 7 a difficult score? The 7 is a difficult score because you need to have really good strategies and academic English. Okay, so remember yesterday, let me just get this ready for you. Yesterday, I don't know if you were in the live yesterday, you can always go back and watch. Yesterday it was very good. Okay, guys, so I'm just gonna share my screen with you here. So that's why it's a good idea to go over to YouTube, guys, if you're watching me on Instagram. I'm just gonna show you right window here. Okay, all right, that's what we talked about yesterday. So to get a 7, right, to get a 7 you need to be here. Okay, and most people are around here. Okay, so most people are here. So that's why a 7 can be a little bit scary for most people, because to get a 7 you need to be advanced. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. But what exactly is a 7? For example, when it comes to speaking, you need to be fluent. And what does it mean to be fluent? Wait a second. Something happened on Instagram. Pause because. Okay. Instagram is back. Okay. I'm back on Instagram. All right, guys. So, as I said, so what does it mean to be a 7? Okay. For example, when it comes to speaking, you need to be fluent. And what does it mean to be fluent? To be fluent, it means to keep talking and you don't stop. Okay. That's what it means to be fluent. right? Another thing, in addition to keep talking fluently, you have to keep talking. You can't stop, right? You can't stop. And you have to speak clearly. And how many of you are able to do that? Speak, keep going, keep going, keep going, and then clear, and it makes sense. That's a 7, 7.5. Another thing, you need accurate grammar. So to be a 7, 7.5, you need accurate grammar. What is accurate grammar? It's grammar with few mistakes. Few mistakes. So, are you allowed to make mistakes? Can you make mistakes and still get a 7? Of course, yes. However, few mistakes, not a lot of mistakes, just a few. That's a 7. Okay, another one. I have my notes here because I took some notes before I saw you guys, so I don't forget anything important. Okay, next one, you need sophisticated grammar. What is sophisticated grammar? I just showed you that a 7, 7.5 is academic. 7, 7.5 is academic. So you need sophisticated grammar, academic grammar. That's a 7. If you have just the basic grammar, you're going to be a 6 or a 5. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, so far to get a 7, when we talk about speaking, for example, you need to be fluent. You need to have accurate grammar, not a lot of mistakes, and you need to have quite high level vocabulary. All right? What else do you need? Minimal hesitation. Do you know what hesitation means? Hesitation means to pause. Pause. Okay? That's what it means. And I pause sometimes, don't I? I pause. But my pause is not the pause that I don't know how to speak English. My pause is a natural pause. So it's okay to have pauses. You know, sometimes someone asks you something, you go, and you think that's fine. But you cannot do it too much or for too long. Okay, that's a 7, 7.5. Another thing, your ideas. I think that's one big mistake that people make, okay, in speaking and writing. Even to get a 6, you have ideas, but you don't extend your ideas. If you have your ideas, but you don't extend, you're going to be a 6. You can't be a 7. Okay, so again, that's a 7, right? That's a 7. So we talked about being fluent when it comes to speaking, being clear when it comes. Also, clear goes also in writing. It's very important to be clear. All right, precise grammar, accurate grammar. You need to be fluent, not a lot of hesitation. So you need all of these things so you can achieve a 7 or 7.5. That's it. Okay, I have some questions here. Someone said, what's academic grammar? Academic, it's a Mima. Mima, hi Mima. So academic grammar is basically the grammar that is more sophisticated, or we as teachers, we call it sophisticated or less common grammar. For example, I've seen this so many times. Let's say a student does a writing for me, writing task 2, okay, for the IELTS. And the person does the writing, and I look at it, and there are not a lot of mistakes, but I give the person a 5, right? And the person goes, Fabi, why did I get a 5? I didn't have a lot of mistakes. And I said, you didn't have any mistakes because you just use simple grammar, past simple, present simple. Okay. And maybe one thing that is very important in IELTS writing are the connectors. The most common connectors are and, but, and the person just used that. So the person didn't make any mistakes, but it was too simple. So, Mima, when I say more academic grammar, I'm talking about using the present perfect correctly, using the passive correctly, using the correct prepositions, using a variety of cohesive devices. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, Mima, does that make sense? And then another question was, do you have to know tenses? Yes, you do, Mima, 100%. And lots of people, they make heaps of mistakes with the tenses. All right. And that would bring your score down 100%. Well, like if you say he do instead of he does once, not too bad. But if you keep making the same mistake, especially silly mistakes, if you make silly mistakes quite a lot, you're going to be a 6.5, guys. And let me tell you something. 7 is a high score. It's advanced. It's academic. The people who can't get there, especially because of their writing, are usually making a lot of grammar mistakes. That's why in my course, we do grammar because you need the grammar, all right? If you want to get a higher score, if you want to get your 7. All right. Okay. So that's what we're talking about now. Okay. So we just talked a little bit about what is a 7. Okay. Because today we're talking about, can you get a 7 by yourself? I'm going to tell you the answer at the end. Okay. All right, cool. So now, so we talked about what is a 7. So I told you, you need a high level of English. You need to be clear. You need to know the test. That's something else we didn't really talk about. You need to know the test also, right? You need to know the test. All of these things. But then, why would someone think I can get a 7.5 by myself? Why? Can you put it in the chat, guys? Why do you think someone would say, I'll do it by myself? Why? And then anybody know? I know. Because I get this all the time. I get students doing this all the time. The reason why people think they can do it alone is because of the free materials that we have. Okay? That's why people think they can do it alone, because there's so much stuff free. And again, guys, free stuff, it's free. There is a reason why it's free. Here with you guys, this is free, right? But I'm not here to teach you about the IELTS. I'm here to inform you. If you watch this live, you're not going to get a 7 if you watch this live. You're not. I'm very honest, you're not. You have to do other things to get the 7. But I'm here to inform you, to tell you things about the test. That's why I'm here. And I can do that for free. But if you really want to train for the test, study for the test, and get your score, then you have to join my course, because I can tell you everything here. And that's a problem, because with free videos, people can tell you everything. But you see that so much stuff out there that you go, I can do this alone. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why people think they can do it alone, because there's so much free stuff. Oh my God, there are hundreds of videos online. Why am I going to join a course? Why am I going to get a teacher? Why? And that's a mistake. And again, there is a reason why these materials are free. There is a reason why there's so much of it. Okay, something else, which is very common, download books, download PDFs, put your hands up. Have you ever downloaded something for the IELTS test? Have you? Have you ever downloaded something for the IELTS test? Of course you have. We all have. But how many things did you download? And how many of them did you open? How many, guys? How many? I had a student last year. It was last year. And she was studying by herself. could not get anything over 6. She needed a 6 overall, 6 overall. Couldn't get anything over 6. Just couldn't. And then she and then she got in touch like, "Oh, Fabi, I can't do it by myself. I need help." And I said, "Okay, so what have you been studying?" And then she shared her screen and she had a file on her computer. She had like 20 files. Like, "Fabi, I have so many materials. Look, I have so many things, but I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do with them. I open it and then I don't like it. I open another one and it's been 1 hour and I haven't done anything. What do I do?" Okay, guys. So can you see that sometimes the variety can be a problem? I that what do they call it? It's the you are frozen because you have so many options. You freeze. So I have that with Netflix. I have so many options that I can choose. I don't know what to watch. That's why nowadays, basically, I just open it when someone tells me, "Hey, Fab, that this is a good series." Okay, so I open Netflix and I go straight to the series because I spend too much time, and that's the risk you run because there's so much stuff. But it gives you the impression that you have a lot of stuff. But the end of the day is not that much. Okay, there's a question here. Uh, you have to be here to giving us tools, I think. Mima, okay, when it comes to tools, Mima, it will be really in a course. Okay. I feel like I'm giving you information here, Mima. Information, lots of things, so you know what to do. Okay. Maybe I give you some tools and I always share strategies with you guys. Okay. But again, uh my course is huge. There's so much stuff there to help you. All right. But then here, it's more about small things because we don't have time for many, many things, unfortunately. Okay. So again, and I am honest with you. I don't think you can get a 7 just by watching this live. I'm very honest. But I will give you enough information so you can make your choices in the future. Okay. So you can make your choice in the future. And I'm very, very honest. We're going to talk about tips later. Okay. All right, cool. And then, yeah, so, and another reason why people think they can do it alone is that because they have lots of tests online, lots of IELTS tests online, lots of them. And what happens is, it's okay to do. There are some very good tests online, and I totally tell you, you have to do tests. You have to practice. Okay. However, some of these tests are not authentic. They're not authentic. So you're gonna do it, and then you will get a score that is not the real score. Okay. So that's something you have to think about. So nowadays, I think that people have the impression they can do it alone because we have so much stuff available, lots and lots of things available. Okay. Right. Sorry. No, no. Oh, yeah, guys. And again, so I'm saying that here I will give you information and all of that, but a place where you can go to get details about the IELTS test, so much information, is my workshop that I've been planning for many, many months. Okay. I've recorded the videos for you. It's going to be amazing. It's the IELTS Booster, right? So if you're ready to join, the link will be in the description here. Okay. All right. So you can read the description. And also, if you're watching me on Instagram, you can go to the bio or you can type join and you will get it. Okay. So it's free. People have been asking me, Fabi, how much is it? It's free, guys. It's free. And there is not the free. Okay. Just free. You have lots of information there. There, I'm going to talk about things that people do wrong in their IELTS journey and what they should be doing instead. Okay. Oh, Mirna. Oh, sorry, Mirna, because it's too small. I can't read. Sorry. All right, cool. Okay. One more thing. Okay, one more thing. All right. So Now let's think about it. And again, guys, what I'm going to share with you here now is what I have seen every day in my life as an IELTS teacher. I have been teaching IELTS for over 10 years. So I'm going to tell you what I see. Okay. And and that's why I'm here with you guys. That's why I'm doing the IELTS, sorry, the IELTS Booster Workshop. Because what I see every day, guys, I'm not kidding. You can go to my personal WhatsApp, you can go to my business WhatsApp, you can go to my Instagram. What you see is, Fabi, I have done the test 2 times, 3 times, but I can't get my score. That's what I see literally every day, guys. And that's why I'm here. Because just think about it. Just last week, someone got in touch and the person said, "Oh, Fabi, I've done the test 2 times. Can you help me? Can you help me?" If the person has done the IELTS test 2 times, the person has spent $1,000 already. If the person has done the test 2 times and hasn't been able to get the score, this person has lost confidence. That's why I'm here today, because I want to work with you. Okay, I want to tell you what to do before you lose your confidence, before you lose your money. That's why I'm here. And that's why you should go to the IELTS Booster Workshop to know what to do so you don't lose money. Don't waste time. Because, guys, look, another simple story. Person has been studying by themselves, okay, himself or herself for 6 months, can't get the score, then the test 2 times, they talk to me, after 1 month, they get the score. This person wasted a lot of time doing alone. A lot of time doing alone. So, okay, that's why I'm here, to help you with that. Okay, so let's think about writing. Okay, so writing, no, I'm gonna leave writing for last, because writing is the most important. Let's talk about listening and reading. Okay, listening and reading is a pretty easy one, because if you have the right materials, you can do the test, you can check your answers, and then you check the points, and what score. Oh, did I get a 5? Did I get a 6? Did I get a 7? Okay. However, 6 is a simple score. It's very easy for me to help my students get a 6. I get a 6, and the person says, "Oh, Fabi, I need a 7 in the 7, but I can't get a 7, can't get the 7." And then the person is trying alone, 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 alone. And then they come to me, and I tell them one thing they can do to improve their listening, one thing they can do to improve the reading, and they get a 7 straight away. You see, even though listening and reading is something that you can do alone, sometimes it's just that small thing that you need to improve, but you don't know about it. But if you ask someone, then you'll know. And again, my recommendation is always to look for IELTS specialists. General English teachers, they're very good, but sometimes for the IELTS test, they're not the best help. Okay, cool. Speaking. Can you practice speaking by yourself? Yeah, you can practice speaking by yourself. But what about the feedback? Or again, it's hard to ask yourself the question. So it's a little bit tricky, isn't it? So speaking is another one that can be quite tricky. Okay, and getting a 7, studying by yourself, I think is very, very difficult. Because, guys, I have seen people who are fluent in English. People are fluent. Okay, they are fluent. And then they do the test and they don't get a high score because they don't know how the test works. So it's always a combination of your level of English and your skills. Always, always, always. So if you are studying by yourself, who is going to ask you the questions for the speaking test? Who's going to give you the feedback? Who's going to tell you whether you're doing a good job or a bad job? Goody, goody? All right. Okay, cool. Especially part three. Part three can be quite tricky. Part three can be very, very tricky. Okay, cool. And now writing. Writing is the one where people get really stuck. And unfortunately, what I see a lot is people who have been studying alone and then go do the test, and that's the first time someone looks at their writing. And then the person gets a 5 and the person needs a 7. So that's very, very complicated. And I always say to people, the right time to start for the IELTS test, start studying is right now. Don't wait too long. That's always my recommendation. Don't wait too long. And when you start studying, you will see that you need the feedback and you need someone to help you. Okay, you need someone to help you. And to get a 7.5 in writing can be quite tricky because, as I mentioned before, you need to be clear. You need to have good grammar. You need to have the academic vocabulary. All right. So, me as a teacher, what I do with my students is I will read their writing, I will have a look at it, and I will tell them about their common mistakes, and we'll work on that. I will look at the words, and if they're too simple, I will give them options. And it's really hard to do it alone, guys. Really hard to do it alone. I have heard of people who have studied by themselves for a year and managed to get a high score on the IELTS test. But again, how many times do I hear that story? 2, 3 times a year. How many times do I hear stories of people who were studying by themselves and failed? More often, unfortunately. All right. So keep this in mind. Okay. Especially when it comes to speaking and writing. So is it possible to get a 7 alone? I don't think so. Because you need to know how the test works, and sometimes you can't do it by yourself. You need someone to listen to your speaking to give you feedback. You can't do it by yourself. You need someone to look at your writing, and you can do it by yourself. Oh, Fabi, I'm using ChatGPT. ChatGPT is very good at giving you a score, and I have used it a lot, guys. So ChatGPT is very good at giving you a score. Very good. I have to be honest. Very good. But ChatGPT is not very good at giving you feedback. ChatGPT is not very good at telling you how to improve. All of my students who have used ChatGPT to study writing or study speaking, they say that when they start the conversation, it kind of feels good. It feels like they're getting good feedback. But then it starts to tell them things. Well, it's actually hallucinate, they call it, right? Tell you things that are not really the best thing for you at that moment. Okay. And that's what I do with my students. I know what they need, I've been following them. And again, I also feel that AI is very general. And you can't be general, you have to be really specific when it comes to feedback, because that's what you guys need, specific feedback so you can improve. All right. Okay. So any questions for me, guys? Few questions today. Few questions today. All right. Okay. So yeah. So again, guys. So yeah, we just have to think about, just have to think about when you're studying. Okay. So it's not only about studying, it's about training for the test, it's about practicing. All right. And if you ask someone's help, you save time and money. It sounds a bit counterintuitive. Oh, Fabi, I don't have money to get a teacher, someone help me, so I'm going to study by myself. You're going to end up losing money because you might not pass the test and it's going to take you a long time. So you have to gauge that, you know. So I do think that maybe it is possible to get a 7 alone, 7.5 alone, but it's not common. I definitely don't see this every day. What I see is exactly what I shared with you guys. Okay, is people trying alone and then asking for help. So why not ask for help straight away? Start doing it right from the start. That's my final recommendation for you today. Do you have any questions for me, guys? Any questions? So while you write the questions there. I would like to remind you that I have the IELTS Booster happening. Okay, it starts on the 26th of May. 3 lessons where I will show you the mistakes people make. I'll tell you about the IELTS test. I'll give you some strategies, not tips, strategies to help you achieve your score, and lots of guidance also when it comes to the IELTS test. All right. So it's free, 100% free. It's all online if you'd like to join. If you're watching me on Instagram right now, you can just type join in the in the comments in the comments, and you will get a link. If you're watching me on YouTube, you can go to the description of this video and you have a link there that you can join. All right, guys. So that's me for today. Okay, so today we talked about can you get a 7 alone? Final answer, I don't think so. I think you need help, especially because when you have help, you save money and you save time and you don't lose your confidence. All right, because then you have someone helping you. All right, guys. And yesterday, some people asked me, Fabi, how can I get in touch with you? I think the best way is through Instagram. So Fabi underscore English on Instagram. I think that's the best way to get in touch with me. All right. Okay. So I'll be back tomorrow. What is the topic tomorrow? Tomorrow we are going to talk about your level of English. What is a good level? What is a good score? We're going to talk about that tomorrow. All right. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.